Fine-tune your life with Emerson.
I'm Jim Lapley with Ken Stabler in San Francisco, where the 49ers are trying to protect a 6-point lead. 1:58 to go on the clock. St. Louis has no timeouts. It's second down and 6 yards to go for a San Francisco first down. Roger Craig is getting a lot of work, trying to wrap things up. He's short of the first down. It'll be third down when we come back, but let's go to Brent Musburger in our studio in New York.
Jim, with 3 minutes remaining, Buffalo tied the Giants. Todd Schlopy out of Michigan, 32-yard field goal, and they head toward a possible overtime, deadlocked at 3. Let's go back to Jim.
A few more gray hairs for Bill Parcells, who is having an agonizing autumn after the joyous romp through the league last year.
Got a great football team, and you know he'll be glad to get his players back, suffering through that after such a great year they had last year. Great year by Phil Simms, Lawrence Taylor, Harry Carson, and crew, and then have to go through what they're going through right now. But some teams have benefited, some have suffered.
Third down and a very short yard. Joe Montana trying to dive forward for the first down. He's got it. And now, barring a major miracle, that should wrap it up for the 49ers. They'll have to hold on to the football for 3 more plays. No, make it 2 more plays. Well, actually, 53 seconds to go. They'll only have to snap it once.
One more twiddling.
They're going to let the clock run down to below the 30 mark now before they snap it. And then after that, that'll be it.
Stick your head in the huddle and tell the backs to protect the ball. It's going to be a simple little play. Joe's going to fall on it. They put those people behind him in case there's a bad snap or a fumble. Somebody can fall on it. They'll just get up there and protect him.
And now it's handshake time.
Well, the veterans came through for the 49ers. Veterans came through and played well. Montana played great. Dwight Clark played good. Big game by Craig.
And there is an unhappy young man who made quite a showing for himself today, nevertheless, Sammy Garza. So the 49ers went 3-0 in replacement ball. They're trying to go back to the Super Bowl for the 3rd time in the 80s. And that man feels like he has just dodged a bullet. He didn't know exactly what would happen, but he's got one of the better personnel operations in the whole league. And John McVay, Walsh's assistant, confided to me Friday, Ken Stabler, that they've been working for a year.
Putting this team together.
That's right, on the list of players who might ultimately make up the replacement team. This is what the NFC West will now look like. San Francisco on top with a 4-1 mark after a dismal opening performance in Pittsburgh. A lucky win the following week at Cincinnati. Replacement ball gives them the lead in the division.
No doubt about it. They looked terrible against Pittsburgh. We had their opener against Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh shoved them around a little bit. And Joe Montana didn't play very well in the first game. But today, Joe Montana looked like the Joe Montana that we expect to see. Craig looked like the back that we expect, catching a lot of passes. Dwight Clark was on the same page with Joe Montana. Looked good. The veterans came through today and played very well.
And after the Bears lost to New Orleans today, here is what the NFC Central Division will look like as Ray Perkins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who also did well in replacement ball, try to breathe down the necks of the Bears.
Brought new life down to Tampa Bay. He's got a good young quarterback down there with a veteran helping him out, and look for them to make some waves in that division.
The replacement loser there, Minnesota, 2-0 to start the season, 0-3 in replacement ball. There's another young man who had a big day for the Cardinals, Derek McAdoo. He'll stick in any league after having made the team as a rookie free agent out of Baylor. More than 100 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns today. So the Cardinals lost. And here's how the NFC East looks, but the Cardinals are still alive.
Yes.
Because one of those 2 teams above them will slip to 3-2 tomorrow night. Dallas against Washington tomorrow evening. St. Louis at 2-3. Philadelphia at 1-4. The Giants struggling and tied up 3-3 in Buffalo.
Well, it's been a tough road for all these guys. It's been a tough road for the coaches. The coaches are the ones that are caught in the middle of the strike situation, having to put together a replacement group, having all the great veterans out and wanting them back in. And it's been tough on the coaches, but I think they've done a good job of putting together the replacement teams, mixing the veteran players in with the replacement players, and they put on a pretty good show with it.
It's been a dismal 3 weeks for the fans, though replacement football has not been without its entertainment value. Cleveland, a winner over Cincinnati in the AFC today. Pittsburgh beating the powerful Indianapolis Colts replacement team. New England beating Houston. Doug Flutie with a big day for the Patriots.
I know Sam White would like to have his quarterbacks back too. All these great quarterbacks that nobody's seeing is what we need to get back on the field. You got to get Jim Kelly back on the field.
You got to get John Elway
back on the field. Elway back on the field, and get these players back on the field and put on the show that they can.
The Jets with a big win today. A lot of people thought their replacement team couldn't win, but Pat Ryan came on and led them to victory over Miami. Denver leading Kansas City. This is the way the AFC East will look after this last weekend of replacement ball. Buffalo still with a chance to beat the Giants and move up and join Indianapolis and Miami at 2 and 3, and obviously everybody in that division is alive.
And you know that Miami, they got to have Marino, and Buffalo's got to have Kelly.
Here's another division where everyone's alive, and that's often the case in the AFC Central right down to the last week of the season.
That's always a very competitive division, with the power being Cleveland, and they're on top right now. Sam White needs Boomer Esiason back. Pittsburgh's winning on defense, and Houston, they've probably benefited from replacement ball.
Pittsburgh fans may not be all that anxious to see their regular offense come back in. We'll enjoy seeing Stallworth in uniform.
Well, Mark Malone struggled the first week we had them. He struggled. They won on defense, but some teams helped.
All right, so the final score here in Candlestick Park was 34-28. I'm Jim Lampley saying so long for Ken Stabler. Let's go to New York and Brent Musburger.
All right, Jim, coming up next is 60 Minutes. I'm Brent Musburger. We hope you've enjoyed the NFL Today on CBS.
This is CBS.
Sacramento, Stockton.
The Men's Warehouse label of distinction, Calvin Klein.
We carry many designers, but because we sell them for less, we're not allowed to mention their names. Well, here's a name we can mention, Calvin Klein. At department stores, you'd expect to pay over $400 for these all-wool Italian suits if they had them. We've got them for $279. Calvin Klein at the Men's Warehouse. I guarantee it.
The Men's Warehouse, now open in Modesto and in Stockton on Pacific next to Sherwood Mall.
Saw nothing but green, kind of like John Volpe last week.
San Diego State responded to the 20-point deficit with a big special teams play. Monty Gilbreth gets by everyone but John Hopkins. 43 yards on the return. Denny Stoltz went right after it. He calls for Santos to go deep for Alfred Jackson. He gets behind Grant and Richardson. Touchdown, San Diego State. It covers 55 yards, and suddenly it's 20-7 Stanford. The Cardinal came firing back, but Jim Price can't hang on, and Maury Paul gives the ball to the Aztecs at the Cardinal 21. On third down, Santos wants the speedy Gilbreth, but Rob Hinckley almost ends up with the interception. Then the Aztecs turned it over to Tyler Ackerson once again, who cut the Stanford margin to 10. With just under 2 minutes to go, San Diego State started another drive. Ron Slack reeling off 18 yards before Kevin Richardson stops him. We're under a minute now when Santos, unable to find anyone, decides to take off. Not a great speed man. He still gets 17 yards to the Stanford 17. 17 is the magic number with 17 seconds left. Watch number 53 in white. It's Ray Huckstein. He beats a double team for the sack of Santos. Big defensive play. Down to 10 seconds. Santos goes for the works. It is Grant on the cover in the end zone against Jackson. It is long. That turned things over to Ackerson, whose second field goal is good from 37 yards out to end the half. So 13 unanswered points by the Aztecs, and that would give Jack Elway and defensive coordinator Dick Manini something to think about at halftime. We're going to go away now, and when we come back, we'll take a look at one of the Cardinals' genuine characters, safety Brad Humphreys, as we go on the clock. Be right back.
You pick them up, pop them in your mouth.
Jack in the Box Restaurants introduces finger foods.
You pick them up, pop them in your mouth.
Take your pick: crispy egg rolls, golden shrimp, or chicken strips.
You just pick them up, pop them in your mouth.
Get your hands on our new finger foods at Jack in the Box. Serious food that's fun to eat.
All gone.
Today, more than 9 million Californians depend on Bank of America to do the job for them. This year, They'll use our Versateller ATMs over 150 million times at more locations than any other bank offers, and get checking service so good, it's guaranteed. We'll lend them nearly $15 billion to finance everything from their business to the place they call home. And for many loans, you can apply by phone and get an answer the next business day. Millions of Californians will use their B of A savings to make their dreams come true, and their Bank AmeriCards to enjoy more of life's pleasures. Across the state, around the clock, B of A is doing the job for more Californians than any other bank.
Doing the job, Bank of America, doing the job.
This week, the Bank of America academic salute goes to sophomore offensive guard Dan Nash. Industrial engineer and economics major, he has a 3.19 GPA. Now to Ted Griggs on the farm.
Hi, Pete. I know this isn't the typical on-the-farm location, but I really couldn't think of a better place to introduce the Brad Humphreys story. You know, Stanford has always prided itself on not having one-dimensional athletes. I'm sure they weren't thinking of Brad when they came up with that concept, but like just about anything else, he took a good idea and ran with it.
Make no mistake about it, Brad Humphreys is a football player. At strong safety, he plays a big role in the Cardinal defense. But his outlook on life is, well, a little different. Okay, it's a lot different from what you might expect of a hard-nosed football player who enjoys hitting people.
It's kind of a laid-back, I think, attitude, the typical Californian attitude that they always give it the Jeff Spicoli, hey, dude, you know, that kind of thing. That's kind of funny. McKeever and those guys, I heard him telling his mom the other day, oh, yeah, he looks like he should be in San Diego.
He does look like he'd fit right in down there. He's not your typical football player, and he's not your typical economics student either. Somehow you get the idea he'd be better suited hanging 10 at Pacific Beach.
He's the Santa Cruz boy all the way. He loves to surf. He just actually bought a new surfboard, a short board, actually. And he hasn't really gone surfing yet this fall, so maybe he's thinking about eating it on a wave or something. I'm not sure, but hopefully he won't surf until after we go to a bowl game.
When he was a kid, playing sports was important, but having fun has always been the most important thing to Brad. And playing big-time football in the Pac-10 hasn't changed those priorities.
I have a lot of fun out there. That's probably my main goal. And I mean, it's not a screw-around thing. I think that fun for me is kids hitting people and making a good tackle and winning.
You want to talk about winning and good hits? How about the one Brad made against UCLA's Gaston Green last year on a play that's now known as the stop? It shut down the Bruins and helped Stanford win a major bowl bid.
That was great. It was happened right at our sideline, and just hearing the roar from our sideline, because it was it was at UCLA. There wasn't a big home crowd there, but just seeing guys get excited about that was pretty high.
Brad has made the big play this season too, but in spite of a couple of interceptions, Brad's personality still receives more attention than his performance. I guess that's predictable for someone nicknamed Looney Tune.
Oh, Brad just does some goofy things once in a while, and I actually gave him the nickname when he was a freshman, and we've just never let him outgrow it.
Now that he's a senior, Brad is thinking about his future. He might play in the NFL. He might capitalize on his economics degree. Or he might stay true to form and just be a little different.
I haven't been free for, God, I don't know how long. It'll be nice to maybe have a little free time to do with it. Sure, I'll pick up my board and maybe go to Australia, get on the tour.
Some people go to get away from it all. Others to get back to it all. Reno. Still the biggest little city in the world.
KCBS News 74 carries all the Stanford games. Pete Liebengood with second half highlights right after these words from your local station.
By 87 model time, and to get you to come see us now, we're offering every remaining new 1987 Dodge car and truck, import and domestic, for only $99 over actual factory invoice. Now, folks, this includes Jeep Cherokee wagons and pickups. Everything is on sale for only $99 for actual factory invoice, nothing held back. Sale includes caravans, import Colts and D50 pickups, the all-new 2- and 4-wheel drive Dakota pickups, Daytonas, Harriers, K-Cars, wagons, 600s, all domestic pickups.
At Furnishings 2000, do not pay until spring. Not a penny, not a dime, not a thing. Just put 25% down and make no monthly payments. Pay no finance charge until next spring on everything in the store. Furnishings 2000 with super sale prices at every department store wide. Take this fabulous 7-piece queen mid-wall complete bedroom unit. Includes the storage headboard, the mirrored back and light bridge, 2 pier cabinets, 2-drawer base and angle pier unit with shelf storage, all 7 pieces together. Sale price $9.99 and do not pay until spring of '88. Hurry, Furnishings 2000 now.
Welcome back to Stanford Football 87. When I began the program, I gave the implied warning that you hang on to your seats. I did so by telling you that 930 yards were ripped off of total offense in this football game. Well, the best is yet to come, because in the second half, the two teams would combine for a total of 51 points. From his own 25, Todd Santos goes to Ron Slack on the screen, but Slack fumbles and Brad Humphreys recovers for Stanford at the Aztecs 32. Brian Johnson went right to work on the Aztecs defense to Volpe, but he loses 5. However, San Diego is hit with a face mask call. Looking at 3rd and long, Johnson puts it up again. It's to McCaffrey to the San Diego State 3 and a first down. 2 plays later, John Volpe behind John Summers scores, and it's 27-13 Stanford. Santos and his pals came roaring right back, though. Here, number 8 hooks up with Gilbreth. It advances 22 yards to the Stanford 34. On 2nd down, Santos to throw, but Rob Hinckley on the blitz. A sack, a loss of 13. Now it's 3rd and 23 for Santos. This time, Hinckley has help from Ray Huckstein. San Diego State is forced to punt. On the Cards' second play, following the kick, Johnson drops and then loses the football on the hit by Milt Wilson. Aztecs football. The Santos-Hewitt combo is too much. John Otani flies by at the 2. Slack scores, and the lead is cut to 7, 27-20 Stanford. On the ensuing kickoff, John Volpe gets a big return. But on his straight arm, Volpe is hit with a face mask, and the ball will be spotted back at the Cards 38. Here we've got Stanford on 3rd and 8 from the 36. Johnson rolls and hits James Crossing. He's stripped of the ball, but Ed McCaffrey is right there, and he recovers. A save for McCaffrey. 2 plays later, Volpe goes over the 90-yard mark on the ground for the game with this 12-yard burst to the Aztecs 27. After he gained 3 more to the 23, Volpe takes off with a pitch, but he gets hammered and loses the ball, but again, it's McCaffrey recovering at the 14. Marshall Dillard's first carry of the game, nets 7 yards up the middle. Then James' number is called from the wing. He's out of bounds at the 3. 2 plays later, Brian Johnson on the sneak, and it's 34-20 Stanford. San Diego State got only 2 offensive plays out of their next series before the Cards defense, led by Ray Huckstein's hit, caused a turnover. Bruce Lang, subbing for the injured Kurt Kohlhauer, recovered.
Tackle had a pretty good block on me. I was trying to get around, and someone popped the ball loose. Ray Huckstein popped the ball loose, and I just saw it there, so I just jumped on it. Felt good.
With less than a minute gone in the quarter, Volpe gives Stanford its biggest lead of the night. But the 21-point margin wouldn't hold. Here, Santos fumbles the snap, picks it up, shakes Lester Archambault, and hits Jackson for a 24-yard gain to Stanford 27. 3 plays after that, it's Hewitt on the delay, He picks his way 17 yards before Darren Bennett finally gets him down. On the Aztecs' next offering, Santos rolls right, fires on the run for Gilbreth, and it's Santos' third TD pass of the night, 41-27 Stanford. The Stanford offense gave the ball right back to the Aztecs. Johnson hits James, but James fumbles at the Cardinal 32. 4 plays after taking possession, Santos rings up his 4th TD pass. Hewitt crosses to close it to 41-34. 9.5 minutes still remaining in the game. Stanford, though, countered with a scoring drive. Marshall Dillard contributed 13 yards to the cause. And Brian Johnson and Jeff James combined for the 6th time on this 12-yard advance. The drive climaxed on this 41-yard field goal by Hopkins, his 3rd. 44-34 Stanford. Well, you're right. San Diego State wasn't done yet. Santos to Kerry Reed Martin. Santos moving to 5th on the all-time NCAA career yardage list. With just under 3.5 minutes left, Santos connects on his 5th touchdown pass. It is to Hewitt, and the Stanford lead is cut to 4, 44-40. Denny Stoltz then elected to go for the 2 points. Santos is looking for Hewitt once again, but Bruce Richardson won't let it happen. A big play. On the following kickoff, Stanford provides some more thrills. KCBS's Ted Robinson describes it.
It will be fielded by Jeff James, middle of the field, 3-yard line. Up the left side to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Has a wedge to the 30. He's out to the 40, down the far side to the 50, 45, 40. And James is all the way down to the 34 of San Diego State.
But Stanford had to settle for a John Hopkins field goal try. This time, however, he misses wide right. Now, with just over a minute remaining in the game, Santos gets it to Robert Claiborne for 20 yards to the Stanford 47. Santos next goes to Hewitt. Rob Hinckley with a big play, though, to keep Hewitt in bounds and the clock moving. Now we've got 19 seconds left. Santos drops. Archambault and Hinckley get him. It is the Cards' 7th sack of the game, and perhaps their biggest. So it all comes down to one last play. KCBS's Ted Robinson calls it.
He goes back to throw. He's lobbing to the corner of the end zone. It's up, and it's incomplete. Batted out of the end zone, and Stanford staggers onto the field with a win.
It's just a football game that you know was a real offensive affair. There isn't any question about that.
It's definitely one of the best horror movies I've ever been in.
On a wild night in Jack Murphy Stadium, Stanford survives it 44-40. Certainly the tape of this ball game won't gather dust in the archives of Stanford football under great defensive contests, but nonetheless, the defense did get the job done. A win is a win, and Stanford now has 2 of them. We'll be back in just a moment.
They call these crispy golden ocean shrimp. Isn't that a mouthful?
Jack in the Box Restaurants introduces finger foods.
I think they deserve a hand.
There's crispy egg rolls, golden shrimp, or chicken strips.
As an appetizer or a main course, they'll do in a pinch.
New finger foods from Jack in the Box. Serious food that's fun to eat.
I think they deserve another hand.
Part luxury, part legend. Pure pleasure. Still, the biggest little city in the world, Reno.
Tickets remain for the big game and all Stanford home dates. Call 800-BEAT-CAL or Bass Ticketmaster for details. We'll return after these words from your local station.
If you're looking for the only family wagon that gives you front-wheel drive, an available overhead cam fuel-injected V6, a choice of long or short wheelbase, and an unbeatable 770 protection plan. Then look no further. It's gotta be the best-selling family wagon in the world, the unequaled Dodge Caravan.
It's gotta be a Dodge.
If you could combine the world's best cars into one car, you'd probably want a premium gasoline that lets it perform its best. One that controls deposits while cleaning intake systems. High-octane Chevron Supreme with Tech Relief cleans not just fuel injectors, complete intake systems. Chevron Supreme delivers high performance no matter what car you drive. Chevron Supreme.
Promotional consideration provided by Henry's Restaurant. Henry's invites you to brunch next Sunday, 46 floors above the city. Enjoy panoramic dining atop the San Francisco Hilton and Towers, soon to become Hilton Square. Travel arranged through PSA, serving San Francisco with convenient hourly non-stops to San Diego. Mile after mile, fly PSA and catch our smile.
Welcome again to Stanford Football 87. This week, credit the defense with our Jack in the Box play of the week. It happened early in the second quarter, 3rd and goal, San Diego State looking for a score, and Darren Bennett picks off a Todd Santos pass and ends up going 68 yards on the return to set up a Stanford field goal. It's the play of the week because it made a 10-point swing in points. San Diego State losing 7 and the Cardinal going on to get 3. So Darren Bennett, our Jack in the Box play of the week. Well, if you have any strength left after this one, you may begin to think about what's ahead for the Cardinal as we pass the halfway mark in the season. Next week, it's Oregon at Stanford Stadium, followed by Arizona. They come in for a visit as well. For now, for Ted Griggs, I'm Pete Liebman. Glad you could be with us for this one, and we'll see you next week.
This GGP Sports Exclusive has been brought to you by Jack in the Box Restaurants, where now you can get your hands on new finger foods, egg rolls, chicken strips, and golden shrimp. Only at Jack in the Box.
Middle of the right leg. Quarterback's kind of in the middle there.
This has been a GGP Sports presentation.
KXTV Channel 10, Sacramento, Stockton.
You could ask for a truck that'll take on heavy-duty responsibility and haul a bigger payload than any compact or even mid-sized truck. Toyota 1-ton. Now who's looking out for number 1?
Toyota. Throughout the ages, man has searched for the perfect mode of commuter transportation.
Come on, Tortellini. Can't you move any faster? Come on.
In the interest of saving money and fuel, ride-sharing was conceived.
Whither thou goest, sire, might I goest with thee too?
People turn commute time to leisure time by sharing rides.
Load up, little lady. If the Longhorns don't stampede, we can all be in Winnemucca by sundown.
As time marched on, ride-sharing grew in popularity.
This sure is the bee's knees.
Today, everyone's choosing the ride-share. Give it a try. You will meet some of the most interesting people.
In Cable's comment, News 10's Dick Cable offers you a fresh, thought-provoking analysis of the day's events. The News 10 News Team, working in the spirit of California.